Thanks for tuning into this week's edition of Going Gainesville. I'm Lesley, owner of Salman Home Realty and your host, and I'm joined today with my co-host.
I'm Jeremy Sachs with Paycor, where we handle all your HR and payroll needs. Thanks for having me out, Lesley.
Thanks for being here. We are at Wort Hog Brewing Company in Warrenton, and we're going to go in and check out the beers. Let's go.
Let's go.
So we're here today with Matt, one of the owners. Thanks so much for having us out.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
So can you tell me how long you guys have been in Warrenton and how you got started in the brewery business?
Sure. When we were initially scouting for locations, we were looking in Prince William County. Did not find anything conducive in Prince William County and immediately started looking at Warrenton. The demographics were good. The traffic patterns, this is a crossroads with 15, 17, and 29 converging in Warrenton, so it's a great spot in terms of the traffic. And the community here is outstanding. They welcomed us with open arms. The town was easy to deal with, so it was it was a no-brainer to come to Warrenton.
Well, I feel like it's such a quaint town, and you guys kind of fit right in with the way the building looks and all that sort of thing.
Right.
It's really cool.
Yeah. We wanted to maintain the old town feel. We had a good architect, Jim Rico, helped us out with the design of the building. And when we started looking around, we quickly realized that we were a good fit for the town, not just from a business perspective because we were the only brewery, but also just from a building type in the community around us. So we were a good fit for the community as well.
Yeah.
So Matt, can you tell me a little bit more about the events you have here?
Sure. Our biggest business in events is rehearsal dinners. A lot of people are looking for a relaxed environment, somewhere where they can wear jeans, t-shirt, and kick back and have drinks and good food. On a Rooftop is our biggest seller, is the Rooftop bar area.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and so we also get wedding receptions, not as many because people are looking for a little bit more formal, but we're booking more weddings now. We do a lot of anniversaries and birthday parties as well. So the events business here is great because the way the building is laid out, we're partitioned. You know, the Rooftop is away from the tap room is away from the patio and the mezzanine, so we can do a number of different configurations for events.
And you also mentioned earlier about the timeline of your kitchen. So you'll have you'll have a full kitchen shortly?
Correct. So we are in an express kitchen mode right now. We're mostly appetizers. We have some burgers and hot dogs and some different things in there. But we're getting ready to go into a phase 2, which is a fully hooded kitchen with appliances that we can do a little bit more expansive menu. Although we would try to still keep it simple. We're not trying to be, a high-end restaurant. We're trying to be a brewery that's a gastropub. Good food with good beer. Right.
Yeah,
beer
I love that.
Exactly.
That's exciting.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So we're going into barbecue here shortly. So that'll be the next step.
Awesome.
So I know you guys have a really cool history of the building. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We purchased the block. So there's 3 buildings on the block. The first building, which we call Building 3, was built in the late 1800s. And it was a number of different things. It was a blacksmith shop for a while. It was a grain facility. I think it was an ammunition depot at some point in the history. About 1940s, 1950s, they added building, what we call Building 2, and this building is Building 1. It then became the first Chevy dealership of Warrenton. So this was the first Chevy dealership. Wow. Building 3 was the administrative building. Building 2 was the showroom, which you can see the cutouts in the cinder block wall out there where they'd bring the cars in and out. And this was the car repair garage. You can tell by the windows, those were car bays, these were truck bays. So this was where we decided to lay the brewery down, was in this building. And the other buildings we'll expand into over time.
So Matt, how about a little tour of this awesome place?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yep. So again, this is the tap room. This is how we refer to this section of the brewery. When we're selling events, this would be the tap room that you could hold your event in. This door was never here. This was a window that we had put into and made a door so that we could have the parking lot entrance on this side of the building. Before this thing, all the addresses faced Beckham Street. We now consider this our main entrance is Lee Street because of the parking lot location.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, look at this place.
This is the mezzanine. Again, another area that you can rent out for a party. We have some games up here, TVs, chairs, couches. kind of a hangout spot.
Wow.
It's a popular spot when we have bands down here. We have live music every weekend on Saturdays. But we also, when we're not in pandemic mode, we have trivia and we've got poker night, and we were getting ready to do open mic night on Fridays. But hopefully when things return to whatever normal is, we can do that again.
Right.
This is beautiful.
Kind of the star of the show is up at the top of the stairs. We had this built out with a lot of glass to let in a lot of light into the brewery, but also to provide a line of sight from this side of the rooftop, giving it the more open feeling.
Okay.
Come right on in.
Thank you. Yep. Wow, this is awesome.
So the flaps are down now. We had a local company. By the way, everything that was built in this building was done by local. We kept everything in Warrenton as much as possible. And if we couldn't get a Warrenton company to do something, we kept it in Fauquier County. We wanted to keep it in the community.
That's great.
We're big, the Warrenton community is big on local, so we kept everything local. Construction, everything we did.
And I see you have Jenga.
We have
For those
giant
who love
Jenga. We have
Jenga.
Giant Jenga, yes.
Very welcoming for kids. I was
It
going to
is.
say that
It is.
before. I've been in here and I've seen, kids playing games and things like that. And some of the breweries and wineries that you go to, they might say they're kid friendly, but then you get there and you're kind of like, oh, I feel like my kid's not.
We're definitely family oriented. That's kind of the bulk of our clientele.
Yeah.
We don't stay open real late. We don't have a late night crowd. Of course, the town like.
What are the
Warrenton.
hours?
So Monday through Wednesday, we're 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, beer only.
Okay.
Thursdays 2 to 8. Fridays we are 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Saturdays we're 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and on Sunday we're noon to 6. We have food on Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now. Only under the pandemic conditions, we've had a little bit of staffing challenges. People are not wanting to come back to work, and that's fine. So we just stay away from that. And we run food on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're getting ready to open it up again for at least on Thursdays to provide 4 days worth of food. So
Beautiful.
yeah, this is interesting. We used a local awning company to put these flaps on. So in the wintertime, we can zip this place up and we can have people up here in the window. We got heat. We've got a heated bar. By the way, we built our bars ourselves.
I'm sorry, heated?
Yeah, it's heated in the wintertime. The summertime. Well, the oversight there is we didn't put cooling elements in it that we could have used for the summertime. But my business partner Chris, he actually designed these, and then we collectively installed them in place, and it's a contiguous piece of concrete. So it's pretty interesting.
Excellent.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you guys run out this rooftop area,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Very popular rental, particularly during the warm months, obviously. The flaps are open. We get a lot of different types of events up here. We really don't limit on what types of events you can do. You can have a birthday party up here, you can have an office party. Most popular though is the rehearsal dinners. That's what we're seeing mostly. They want a laid back environment. They want to be able to have like a buffet style type rehearsal dinner. Have the beer, you can get wine. We have a wine license, so kind of the sky's the limit with what you want to do. If you have a party, the only limitation really is the occupancy. We can go up to about 70 to 80 people when the flaps are open.
And how can we get in contact with you the best way?
The best way to get in contact is to email events@whbrew.com. That'll go right to our events person.
Okay.
Yep.
So Matt, now we're going to try a flight of beers.
Yes. Yeah.
Walk us through it.
I selected a beer representation that would kind of cover the spectrum of what we do here in terms of the beers that we produce. We usually have about 12 to 13 beers on tap, and usually have an experimental on tap that we use as kind of a tool to figure out what the customers really want in their beers. So what I've selected for you guys today is I've got a Warrenton American Ale. You're going to be drinking left to right. Next to that, you've got the Citra, which is a single hop IPA. Then after that, we got the Freedom of Speech, which is a farmhouse ale, peach infused. And then the big boy is our Imperial Stout at 15.2%. It's a heavy beer. And this is the one that we use for barrel aging for our legacy beer.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
And that's the Warrenton American Blonde Ale.
Okay.
It's good, nice
very
and light.
good.
Yeah? That's our number one seller. It bears the town's name. It was the first beer we produced.
Easy
I love the
drinking.
fact that you bring the town into it and all the culture and
Yeah, it's important. Community's important.
It is important.
Yep. So the next one on the list here is a very, very popular beer. It's probably our most popular IPA. It's a single hop Citra, meaning that we only use one hop, the Citra hop in it.
Okay.
Very aromatic.
Wow.
It did smell really good and it tastes good too.
That is rare.
Citrus.
We dial it down for summertime, so that one's only about 5.4% now.
You love your citrus.
And I love my IPAs.
There you go.
Well, I guess it's coming up.
No, we're switching now.
Oh, no, this is stout.
This is a farmhouse ale. The next beer you're going to drink, it's our Freedom of Speech beer. Speech spelled P-E-A-C-H, because it has peach in it.
Yum. I'm
And-
a
Wow.
big peach fan.
And
And,
that's-
it smells really good too.
And that's a big town favorite. When we are doing First Friday, that's what we pour on Main Street.
How do the names come into the play? The brewmaster.
It's
partners?
me, it's the brewmaster, it's a group of us talking about names. Naming is really important on the beers.
Yeah.
Great.
Makes it fun.
Yeah.
You know, the Falcon Lager, obviously.
Right.
You know, Knuckle Sandwich. So all of them have a kind of a reason behind them. Like the A-10 is a Wort Hog aircraft, right? It's a ground attack aircraft. We were all military before doing this, so that kind of has a special place for us. It's kind of the brewery namesake beer, A-10 Wort Hog.
Great.
Yep. The last one here is our Imperial Stout, the
that
Babe's
one-
Revenge,
15.1, you said?
15.2%.
See if you can handle it.
This is
Oh, I can handle it. Let's
You
see if
can't
you can
handle
it.
the truth.
Wow, that's very good. And I'm not a stout drinker, Matt, but
Yeah.
that's
But I
Yeah.
am.
I could drink
And I
that.
think it was really good.
the nice thing is it's not overly boozy. You don't get a ton of alcohol out of
Right.
it.
Not a lot of aftertaste either.
Right. Right. It's very smooth.
It is smooth.
And this is we aged this in Woodford Reserve barrels for
Yep,
a
you
year,
can-
Wow.
and that's our
Pick up on
legacy.
that. Well, Matt, thanks so much for having us out here. This beer is awesome. Your place is fabulous. It's been fun.
Thank you. Appreciate
really
you guys coming
awesome.
out.
And Jeremy, thanks for finally co-hosting with me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for tuning into this week's edition of Going Gainesville, because we're going Gainesville.
And
And so are you.
Make sure you tune in with me, Victoria, with Going Gainesville's Rapid Fire segment. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope to see you soon.